surprising why that happened. I don't know why it happened.
Okay, we are live on Facebook again. So you were saying investing in property. So when the market is down, something is going up for sure. So watch out for that. And people were saying that you are crazy. You're investing back in Dubai now. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't know how much people missed of that, but it was, the technology is fun, by the way, right? Isn't that great to have technology and it breaks? It's beautiful. So what I was saying was that it's really important to make sure that you are being flexible, that you are changing what you're doing. Because when the market changes, there's only one thing for sure in business, in real estate, whatever you're doing, the market changes. How you make money changes. The way to advertise, the consumers change, right? We saw a big change in social media. I particularly don't believe that you need, even today, social media. I believe that the fundamentals of marketing and business are the same as they were 20 years ago, which is people have a want and you have to help people with that want. Now, obviously, if you stop making money in Dubai, that means people's wants have changed. So you have to go out there and relook at the marketplace. And I was saying that during tough times is when we double down on marketing. It's very, very important to do that because, you know, everyone else is cutting back and it's time to gain market share when everyone else is running like headless chickens. If you have the budgets, if you're able to, then double down on your marketing. And in fact, marketing actually becomes a lot cheaper during tough times because the companies are also suffering because people aren't advertising. So they're giving away deals. So it can be an amazing time to actually go out there and really do something different in the marketplace. You have to change, right? That's the only thing that's constant is change.
Absolutely. And I was actually the other day you know how business goes through ups and downs, and I was just a little low and I was thinking, what do we do different? And I was reading this book called Love Marks by Kevin Roberts. He's the CEO of Saatchi and Saatchi Worldwide. And in the book, there's a quote by the Toyota Yashio Izaka. Sorry, I'm pronouncing his name wrong. He's the vice president and member of board of Toyota Motor Corporation. And what he says is, when the times are tough, whenever you are stuck, listen to the market. Like you said, you know, listen to the voice of the customer. That's the fundamental essence of marketing. Come back to market and back to customers. And that was the Toyota way at that time. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a phrase that says you can't sell cockroaches. Or you can sell cockroaches, but you got to figure out whether people want them or not first, right? So
yeah,
I find so many people in business just put their offer out there like, hey, this is what I have. And then kind of like hope that people want that. And it's really got to be, you've got to give what people want. Otherwise, you're not going to sell anything. And when you actually have what people want, you'll find that it's pretty easy to sell.
Yeah. True. When you have actually what people want, then it's pretty easy to sell. That's a good statement to take away. So identify what your people want. What is the big need nowadays? And I was just reading an article by Gary Vee on his blog where he says one of the biggest needs in market currently is time. Because that's one commodity that we cannot replace. And everybody or any product that saves time for consumers and makes their life easy to get a product or service, that business is anyway going to thrive. So a tip to look into. Save people time from achieving something.
Yeah, I don't particularly like Gary Vee, but he does talk about some sensible things sometimes. And I've always said that any product, if you derive the benefit, right, you got to always sell sizzle and not the sausage. So anytime you are marketing, you've got to derive what people are getting from it. And it usually boils down to being happy, right? Having more money, having more time, end up with people being happier. So don't sell clean teeth, or sell clean teeth, don't sell toothpaste, is what I've always told people.
So why bootstrapping your business is better than getting investors?
I hate investors. I don't hate investors. I love investors. They help me start a lot of businesses. I think there is a misplaced notion amongst people who do startups that you got to go and find this venture capitalists or these angel investors to go and invest in your idea. And I've done that. I haven't gone to venture capitalists or angel investors, but I have raised funds to start businesses. So, but I've never given away a share of my business to anybody, right? An investor will come invest with me. He will invest in a project that I am running, of which I will retain 100% control, but they will invest in a share of the profits of that, maybe 1 year, 2 years, or until their money gets back to them and then it's mine again. Now, do you need money to start a business? Yeah, sometimes. Do you really, really need money to start a business? No, you don't. I don't think so. I think today, with the internet, with the marketing channels online, it's really easy to launch something, to start something, and just to use your own funds initially to go out there and prove a concept. The minute you have an investor, right, in your business, then I'm not going to say in all cases, but in most cases, you then have a boss. That investor is going to want a return on his money. His motive is to, hey, you need to operate in a way that makes me money. Okay. Now, not all investors are like that. Many investors are happy to wait and to watch you grow. Whereas your passion might be, look, I want to go and do this thing in a different way. My goals are different. My passions are different. So all of a sudden you have two people at loggerheads. The investor wants his return and you want to go and build a business your way. And there are known ways in business to make money, right? You've got to follow the system and do it. An investor is going to be keen for you to follow that and keen for you to make decisions that protect his investment. Whereas you might be keen to make decisions that push the boundaries, that go against the grain. And in those kind of situations, having an investor breathing down your neck is not a good idea. At the end of the day, no matter how lenient they are, they're going to want a return on their investment. That's what they do. Yeah, venture capitalists accept that 1 in 10 deals are going to work and the other 9, most of them are going to fail and maybe 2 or 3 are going to do okay. But when you have an investor in your business, you have a boss or you have somebody else who has an interest in going potentially in a different angle. So I've always liked bootstrapping businesses and starting from scratch, at least to get to a stage where you can prove the point. Now, if you want to go and start, let's say, a radio station in Dubai, you're not going to be able to bootstrap it because you need a huge amount of investment to go out there and to get the channel, get the frequency, set up the office and the equipment that you can't bootstrap. But you can still kind of like bootstrap the idea and you can actually test the idea. Well, let me give you an example. So I've got a person who's working with me now. They've got an idea for an app, right? Everyone's got an idea for an app, and it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a particularly bad idea for this app, but he wants to go and raise money, right? And then go and get it developed in India, and he's got the development team lined up. I'm like, hang on a minute. What are you doing? Do you even have the proof that this is a good idea? Now, let's paint 2 situations with me. Now, so I invest in businesses as well. Let's say you come to me with an idea, right? Let's say, Nam, you say, hey, I'm going to build this training app for online businesses. Sunil, will you invest in it? Maybe because it's you, Nam, I'll give you a bit of credit and say, okay, Nam's got some experience, okay, that counts for something. Whereas if somebody was completely new, then it's going to be like, no, I'm not going to invest. But on the flip side, if you were to come to me with proof and you were to say to me, hey, Sunil, look, I've done this very simple test, right? I spent this little bit amount of money online marketing. I put up this little website. It cost me like $50 to do that and a couple $100 in advertising. And I got 3 people from 200 who were willing to give me money to buy my course. Right? And you haven't taken their money because you don't have a product yet. So you're kind of like testing the market. Now, if you come to me with that situation, I'm a hell of a lot more likely to give you money and to back your project because you have hard data. And in fact, there are guys online, there are people online who will sell something that doesn't exist, right? When you sell something that doesn't exist, you have a wonderful problem because then you have to go and deliver on that. Yeah. How did Bill Gates start Microsoft? He sold Microsoft DOS, disk operating system, before he even had it ready. Smart guy. I love that. Yeah. So there's nothing stopping you from selling something. You could even take somebody's money, which is the big test, right? People paying you for something is a big test. So you can get to that stage where you can say, look, the small data sample, this is what happened. This is how much money I spent. This is how much money I made. And now I need money to scale. Well, freaking heck. Guess what? Number one, I'm going to invest in your business, or I'm a hell of a lot more likely to invest in your business. And number two, I'm going to be happy with a much smaller percentage. So you come to me and say, Sunil, here's my new idea. I haven't tested it, proved it. Well, Namita, if I do back you, then I want a big chunk. But if you come to me with proof, you can just say, hey, Sunil, you're the third guy I'm speaking to. You know, I've got 10 people on my list. The first two guys are interested. The first person in takes the deal. I'm like, okay, now I'm like, where do I sign, right? I'm kind of like excited about doing that. So it really changes the control from, where you are in terms of how much you have to give away. And, I was just thinking of something there, which was really important, and I've forgotten about it, but there you go. So being able to test something on your own, that's kind of like bootstrapping. And you might actually find that, bootstrapping thing is absolutely fine. I can actually just scale this thing by myself. The wonderful thing today about an online business, right? If you go and prove something online, so I have a business right now in Dubai, I'm paying for every $300 I spend, I'm making 2,000. So it's like an amazing little business that I've got set up there. Now, that's just in one small market in the world with like 2 million people, right? That's Dubai. Now, could I scale that worldwide? Yes, I could. How fast would it take me to scale that? Actually, I could scale it tomorrow, because that's the beauty of online marketing. I can go to Facebook and say, hey, now you shouldn't do this with Facebook. You should always scale slowly, but I could just go and find a number of channels and just pay a lot of money for marketing. And I can scale exponentially online very, very quickly. What do I need to have? Why do I need to have investors to do that? Because it's a hell of a lot less pressure. Now, I do think that sometimes investors bring a lot more to the table than just money. They bring mentorship, which is great, but you don't need to find an investor to find mentorship, right? Yeah. That's not the only thing you need. So,
what about connections?
Sorry?
What about connections? An investor can bring in connections that you don't have.
This is all this for me is all like a big fallacy. Like you need to have you need to have this person to connect you. If you read Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Workweek, he talks about picking up the phone and calling people. I mean, that's what I was a specialist at. I just reached out my hand and shook people's hands and, hey, I'm Sunil. When I started investing, I had no property. I would say, hi, I'm Sunil. I'm looking to expand my portfolio. What have you got? You got a deal? Would you speak to me? And the number of times I see people who want to speak to me but don't, it's crazy. Yeah, sure, I'm a busy guy. I don't really want to have those conversations with people like, how'd you get started and how'd you do something? I want to have good conversations, but I'm open, right? I have the Cash Flow Club. I meet people at the Cash Flow Club where I share my information. So you can reach out and speak to people, right? If someone called you up and said, hey, Namita, give me some help. Okay. Are you going to turn them away?
I have a question. So how do we find investors?
Sorry?
How do people find investors?
How do people find investors? You shake people's hands. So
go to the right events.
You shake people's hands. You go to events. How do you shake people's hands? You can't shake people's hands on the phone. So you have to physically go out there and meet people and shake their hand, and you just have to talk to them and say, hey, you find out what they're interested in. Don't sell cockroaches. When you're selling your own project to an investor, don't sell cockroaches.
But how do we know that person is an investor? You need to do some groundwork before, right?
You can do some groundwork before, but you don't have to. Just meet someone. The people who I thought were investors, the people who I thought were going to go and be successful, guess what? It's always the other people who are doing it, right? So I've given up trying to prejudge people and say, hey, this guy must be a good investor, or this must be a bad investor, or whatever it is. You just talk to people. Hey, you always assume the person is the right person to speak to, right? So if I wanted to get into Above Digital and I wanted to speak to you, Namita, and I picked up the phone and I called your company and I said, hey, I want to speak to Namita Ramani, right? Your receptionist is going to protect your time. They're doing a good job. Who are you? I'm Sunil Jaiswal. Okay, fantastic. Well, she's a bit busy. Well, don't worry. Let me speak to you about this. It's an amazing opportunity. Look, I've got to speak to you about this because this is a great opportunity for you to invest in this business. I'm looking for some experts in my marketplace so I can bounce some ideas off. And the minute that I treat your receptionist as Namita Ramani, she's going to very soon tell me, Sunil, you actually need to speak to Namita because she's going to feel uncomfortable. So you can do anything to, if I wanted to speak to you, I'll go to your office. I'll camp out at your office. There's only a few movies in the world that I love. And one of them is Wall Street, the first version. And gosh, what's his name now? What's that actor's name? Oh my gosh, Charlie Sheen. And he's going to try and meet this big investor, and he calls a guy every single day. And so one of my heroes growing up was a guy called Dolph DeRuse. He's written books on real estate investing, and I was starting out. I read his books, and I was like, what an amazing guy! Like, this guy must be like, if only I could speak to this guy, right? What if I could speak to him? And then I started my trading company. I became a successful investor. And then I thought one day to myself, I should get Dolph DeRuse to come and speak at one of my events in the UK. Yeah. So I called up my reception. I said, hey, actually she was my sales rep. I said, you got to call Dolph's office in America. Every first thing you wake up when you come in, or actually no, in the afternoon, I said, you call Dolph's office and you say you want to speak to Dolph DeRuse. And she started doing it. And I think it took her about a month. And I was sitting in my office one fine day, and the phone rang. I pick it up, and it's Caroline. She says, hey, Sunil, I got Dolph DeRuse on the phone for you. I'm like, wow. Oh my God. So I call her, hey, Dolph, how's it going, man? And so I call up. We get Dolph to come to the UK. He agrees to fly in and do an event for us. And it's like just amazing, right? And then I get to spend 3 days with my hero, right? Like, wow.
It's persistence. Persistence is the key. You never give up. That's a sales technique. You keep, and one of the qualities of an entrepreneur is to have this zest and passion and this drive to keep doing what they desire, to go for the success, because otherwise you wouldn't choose this path. So this skill that you're talking about, persistence and not giving up till you reach your goal, whether it's meeting the right people, finding the investors, is something that entrepreneurs will automatically have. I do one more thing is I believe in spirituality and stuff, so I pray. I just tell God, send me an investor. And bang, I have a call. From front, they come and talk to me that I want to invest in your business. Would you be interested? This is what happens, by the way. So this technique also helps when you're really authentic and talking to nature and asking for direction and help and sending right people to your doorstep. Magical sometimes. Magic works. Next question. So why must every entrepreneur be online or know about marketing online?
For that same reason we just talked about, Nam, is that actually, just hold on. I think there's a couple of comments on Facebook because we dropped the call and joined again. I think it's created a new link. And I think there are some people commenting on the old link that they can't see it. So let's just quickly do that and then I'll answer your question because we want people to join the call. So let's just go back over here. Where are we? So.
Okay, 3 comments.
Is that, oh yeah, we got people watching, so it's okay. We're good. Fantastic, great. Guys, if you're watching, you can see us, just please put a comment, so we know that you're good to go. Let's go and see here. Right, so it's fantastic. Yeah, so Nam, you want to just, Nam?
I'm just replying to people, yes, for the live, and I'm listening to you as well. So, must entrepreneur know about, why must every entrepreneur know about online marketing or marketing?
Yeah, because it's the future, right? And you can do stuff like that. I have I love systems. I love procedures. I love, like, if you have a system, you can just make money. So part of the system is to say, look, I have what's called profit machines. People will call them channels, right? So you might say, oh, Facebook is a channel of the business. Twitter's a channel. Advertising on the radio is a channel. I call them profit machines because unless I'm putting in $10 and making whatever, more than $10, then it's not a profitable channel. So it has to make me money. So therefore, profit machine. And the online world today, I mean, it's so easy. The famous quote, I don't know whether it was from Saatchi & Saatchi, but I think it was Oliver Mather or somebody in the big some big marketing guru said, look, the big problem with marketing is you cannot track half of, you don't know which part of your marketing works, which half is productive. Online, you know everything, right? The amount we can track, the amount you can actually do data mining on your on the information that you have is brilliant. And so even if you don't know how to do it, that's not the point here. You must be aware of what's going on, what Facebook's doing. Facebook is an amazing platform for marketing. The way you can target people. If you don't know what retargeting is, you must learn about retargeting. If you don't know what sales funnels are, you must learn about sales funnels. No matter what business you're in, everyone's online today, right? Everybody has a website. So you can target anybody online. And you need to get good at this because this is the crux of business. Yeah. In business, if you're not making sales and making money, then everything is a problem. Your employees are a problem, paying bills is a problem, you're going to go out of business. So you have to, for me, the big driver is you've got to make sales in business. Everything drives around sales. Mm-hmm. And so unless the entrepreneur knows how to do that, then you're not in control of your business. Mm-hmm. And again, I want to repeat, it's not about actually doing the work and maybe actually advertising on Facebook or putting the advertising yourself, but you have to be aware of what's possible.
Yeah.
You have to spend time understanding what's going on. What's a canvas ad, right? If you don't know what a canvas ad is on Facebook, then you're behind the times. You got to figure it out and learn about it. If you don't understand retargeting on AdWords, or you didn't understand what Twitter's doing with marketing and their paid plans. So you've got to be really up to date. And when you're up to date, then there's so much opportunity out there in the marketplace because we're in this is a global world, right? Once you're online, you can sell anything to anybody in the world.
Yeah. And we teach this in our academy. We have all these resources. And so nicely you said, so well said, you don't need to know how to do everything. Even if you know what's possible and you outsource a part of it, at least you would be able to take decisions rightly when an agency is suggesting you what path to follow or what campaigns to start. So you don't waste your hard-earned savings or investment in doing stuff that might not bring in value, right? Yeah. So the key is to know what is possible. Yep. Not necessarily how to do it. But if you want to learn how to do it, it's on our academy, abovedigital.com/academy. Going forward.
That's a nice plug. That's great. Yeah. And well done.
How did you take? Yeah.
Are you advertising on Facebook for your academy?
Yes, I am. Absolutely. We are.
Good.
Next questions. How did you take 3 companies from $0 to $1 million?
FTS is the answer to that question.
What is that?
And I'll come back to FTS in a minute because it's my favorite phrase in life. But it goes back to another question that you talked about, Nam, which is like, what's the one thing that an entrepreneur has to do, the only thing? And it's something that I wish I would have done a long, long time ago. I did it, right? And I think that I should have done it before. So the one thing you need to do is find somebody who's done it before. Mm-hmm. You get in front of them, you convince them to take you on as a mentee, and then you pay them as much money as they want, and then you just follow what they say blindly, right? That is the quickest and fastest way I know of being successful. Is like, so when I was launching, I've done property trainings since 2003. I had a business in the UK for 3 years doing that. It's been a hobby since then. But a month ago, I said, hey, let me start again. The first thing I did was who can help me? And I know so much about online marketing. I've been in marketing for so many years. I've made so much money. But my first question was, who can help me? And so I found a mentor. And I paid him I called him up, Steve, how much money do you want? He wants $1,000 a month. Done. You're on. Let's go for it. Yeah. I'm cool. I'm investing, and now it's like, what's the return on my investment? Freaking hell. It's like, I don't know. It's been 2 months.
Priceless. It's priceless. I want to share a story here. When I started really getting into business in 2009, we were just recovering the recession. I was going through a very tough period in my personal life, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any support. And I just needed some help to hold my hand and tell me what to do. Because, a lot of times when you're stuck, as entrepreneurship is a lonely place. you need guidance and support. And that's when I was reading this book called The Pricing Guide for Graphic Designers. Now, at that time, we were more of a design studio versus a web design agency or a digital marketing agency. We've evolved over the years. So I was reading that book and I Googled the author, and I found out on her website that she does mentoring and coaching. So I messaged her, had a session, like a half an hour call on Skype with her. And she quoted me similar price, $1,000 to speak to me for 1 hour in 1 month. That means 15 minutes a week we will talk. I'm like, no problem, take the money, plus please tell me what to do. So we started with the first call, and that's when she gave me these tips and tricks on how to find the niche market. It was a big trend in the US to have a niche. So she helped me find the spa niche and then study the business, go find speaking gigs. All these things, a lot of things what I do or what are responsible for our success is that coaching that I went through with the author of that book. So I highly, highly believe in coaching and mentoring and finding someone who's already done it, knows the crux of the game, knows what to do, what to follow. So you don't keep falling and getting up because they have done that. They have already gone through that phase. So you learn from them, take the experience and put things in action. So you move forward very fast, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what did you do? Which business was this? Which business did you take from zero to millions?
Oh my gosh, I took my training business in the UK. I took my real estate business in the UK. I took it in some answer exhibitions. I took a real estate agency. I've done it a number of times and I'm about to do it again. I'm starting again from scratch. Well, starting the business from scratch, let's say that. So when I said FTS, it's about follow the system, right? I have a model in business. It's called I developed this over the years, and it's called I call it the systematic profits blueprint. And it's very simply like I follow this blueprint in business. And if you do this, 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 you're going to make money, right? Yeah. And it's really simple. There's nothing complicated about it, right? Yeah. It's just you got to FTS, follow the system, follow the steps. Now, does that mean I get it right all the time? No, it doesn't. I mean, in fact, about two and a half years ago, I started a business with two friends. My mentor from the UK, my longtime mentor from the UK, Rob, he was a co-director, and a guy called Jason in Dubai had a project in Canada that we wanted to go and make money on. It was like with the potential of making a couple $1 million in this deal. And so there's me, I consider myself pretty smart. There's my mentor who's freaking crazy smart, and Jason, who's also freaking crazy smart. Yeah. And we went out and we put all this together. We FTS, we followed this, we did everything we could. And after 9 months, we had a big fat zero. And we were really at the wrong place, wrong time. Wow. I think timing is so critical in business. When I launched my business in 2003 in the UK, my training business, I went from zero to like £2 million in my first year. It was nuts. It was like, I'd go into the office in the morning. There were checks waiting for me. Like I had to go bank them, right? It was nuts. And I mistakenly thought that I was a genius, right? And I was just in the right place, right time. And I think if you're in the right place, right time, you can almost be useless at marketing and you'll still make money. So timing is very, very important in a venture, because no matter how good you are, if you're trying to sell gold cars when the economy is just completely tanked, you're gonna struggle, right? But if you're selling gold cars when everyone's making a killing in the real estate market or the stock markets, then you're gonna have a little bit more success in that. And then when it came down to like Sumansa exhibitions, when we run the Indian property show, run the night market. In fact, I sold my shares about 2 years ago in that company. So I'm moved on to different things. But that business, again, we started out that, and I just FTS'd. What was FTS? Follow the system. What do you have to do? Build a database, right? People in large numbers are predictable, right? That's, I think, a big philosophy in business. People in large numbers are predictable. So if you go and ask 100 people who wants to buy something, maybe the first 50 people will say no. And that's where persistence comes in again, because the 51st person might say yes. And the minute you've got one yes, then you have a ratio. Well, it's 50-1. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, how many contacts do I have in my database? 7,000. Okay, so how many can I get? I can get 35? So if I get 35 to give me $10,000 each, that's, oh, wow, good. Okay, I got a business. And it's just that. You just plow the numbers. You follow the system. What's part of the system? When you get a database of people, you build a database and you market to them until they tell you to stop marketing to me or they buy. One of the two things. It's not difficult. But people seem to make it overly complicated. I hear people come to me with ideas and ideas. I've got this idea for a business. I don't freaking care. I don't care how innovative and how unique your idea is. Ideas are useless. Everybody has an idea.
Yeah.
Right? Ideas are useless. I mean, people come to me. I had an app company in Singapore. We developed apps for iPhone and Android. And I spent $4,000 developing 21 apps or whatever it is and $50,000 on marketing. And I made freaking like $10, right? You know, it was like crazy. So
what is important? FTS system?
What is important in that model? Having a deep pockets to do marketing. Having hugely deep pockets to do marketing in that world. But
no, like the ideas are useless. So what is important? What is useful? What is that one thing? Execution of the idea in the right way, being at the right place at the right time.
You have to be in the right place at the right time, build a database, and you just email people. You find out what their problem is. Find out what their problem is, right? So what are you selling? Find out why people want that. And it's not what people tell you they want, because no one's going to tell you the real reason, right? You have to be a little bit smart about figuring out what people want. So you find out what they want.
With one problem, you can find what they need.
You can find what they need. Then you sell it to them. You sell them what they want. Don't sell them cockroaches.
Yeah.
Namita, do you clean your teeth every day?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so do you buy toothpaste?
Yes, I do.
Why do you buy toothpaste?
Because I need to brush every day.
Right, because you don't buy toothpaste because you love toothpaste. You buy toothpaste because you want clean teeth. You don't want people to run away from you when you start talking, right? When you open, hi, my name is Namita. You know, the room's cleared. People are like running like, when was the last time she brushed her teeth? You know, it's not the case, right? Because you want clean teeth. That's why you buy toothpaste. Have you ever seen anybody in the supermarket buy toothpaste because they like the color of the tube or they like the box or the way the lid screws on or it flips open? Nobody does that.
Yeah, true. Sometimes it does matter.
And if you watch toothpaste adverts, if you use this toothpaste, guess what? You're going to be super successful. You're going to have all the women or men that you want, a nice fast car, it's a big house. Why? Just because you use their toothpaste. I mean, come on. But that's the point. Sell people what they want. My good friend Jason always says all advertising is aspirational. And I believe that. People want something. Give them what
to look up to. Yep.
Give them what they want.
Traditional versus online business.
Sorry?
Traditional businesses like brick and mortar businesses versus online businesses. What's your take?
Why would you do traditional business today? I just don't understand it.
But if everybody thought that, traditional business will never exist. You do need traditional brick and mortar businesses. You need a spa to go to. You need a doctor clinic to go to. You need you need a grocery market to go to. You can have everything. Although I'm in the online business, I'm kind of, I believe in online businesses too.
Sure. I agree, right? There's always going to be a need for traditional physical businesses. There's going to be things that can't move online. But if you're in a position today where you're starting a business, right? I see people in Dubai tell me, I'm going to start an online business focusing on Dubai. Well, okay. Or if you're going to start a traditional business, the problem is you're very limited in your geography. Yeah. Right? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just go online where you can target the whole world? I just don't understand it. Yes, there's a need. Maybe your passion is, I like giving treatments to people, right? Well, in that case, then you're not an entrepreneur. You have a nice hobby, which is giving treatments to people, and maybe you can make money at it, right? Because I don't consider anyone who, if you do the work, if you don't have a system working for you, then you have a hobby and not a business. So if you're going to go online today, traditional is great because you can just target the whole world. If I want to start a business, why would I even target the UAE? Even if I'm in the UAE, why would I target the UAE? UAE is a small market. I got nothing against targeting the UAE. UAE is a good market. The Middle East is a great market. If you could speak Arabic, freaking hell, Saudi Arabia is the market to target right now. Yeah. But why not just target the US, where you've got the biggest online buying population in the freaking world? And it's so easy to do business. You can do business from here. When I say here, I'm in Colombia, but from Dubai. You can start a company remotely. You can get products delivered to the US remotely. You don't need to be in the US to target the US. But I see people like Blinkit. Oh, I'm in the UK. I should buy a .co.uk domain name and target the UK. Or I'm in Dubai, or I'm in India. Why? Target the whole world. It's
but start small, because to target the whole world, you need a lot of deep pockets. You need a big pocket, because it's expensive to reach out to the whole world in one go. Start small.
No, I'm not saying target the whole world. I'm saying look at the whole world as a target, but you've got to choose one place to start with, right? Uber chose one place. I got a friend in India who's doing food delivery service. He chose one place and now is expanding. You have to make it work in one place. You build systems and make it work, and then you scale. Right? Yeah. So it's much easier to target a market that is not necessarily struggling, right? The UAE, people are struggling. It is tight. People are tight in their pockets. Do they still spend money? Sure they do. But why not look at somewhere else that's better? So I got nothing against traditional business, but I got a lot of friends who got traditional businesses in Dubai, brick and mortar, employees. And when they start looking at online, right, I'm investing in businesses. As an investor, as a passive investor, my ROI is 38, 40% on my deals that I do. If you're an actual entrepreneur operator, your ROI is going to be significantly more, 100%, 150% online. It's just a completely different world out there. And so where the traditional business is suffering, online businesses are booming, right? You can actually buy online businesses. You can buy businesses and make cash flow. So if you're starting out today, look at online for sure. Why would you not? And if you've already got a business and you're suffering, start an online arm, work out how to provide a service online, target the world. I've got a friend who's got a music institute, and if your teachers are sitting there idle, right? Because not every institute's going to be 100% occupied 100% of the time. It's just not possible. You're going to have some downtime for your teachers. Why don't they go online and teach? Why don't you go and offer a service? Now, there's obviously risks in that. It's a different business model, but you got to go out there and prove it. Try it. Because if you could make it work, then all of a sudden, you have no catchment area. Your catchment area becomes the world.
Yeah. Beautiful. There are different types of online businesses, different ways you can enter. Maybe we should have a session on this separately. So how to prove your business idea under $1,000? How can
How to prove your business idea? Well, number one, you have to prove your business idea before looking for money. And Facebook, advertising. So the most common way is to, when you're building your model for your business, most people go and build a business plan, which I feel is absolutely useless today. A business model is much more useful. So modeling out your business. So this is what I'm going to spend moving forward. I can put those in an Excel spreadsheet. This is how I'm going to market. We can model those, and we can do some kind of like stress analysis on that. Now that model, and any business is going to have some core assumptions in it. Like for your academy, you're going to say, I think that my assumption is people will spend money to learn online. Now, just because everyone else in the world is making it work, doesn't mean to say that you can just assume that it works and go and do that. You need to prove, because UAE is a different market. My experience has been people don't like doing online courses in Dubai. My experience is people like doing physical courses. My experience is people don't pay from their pockets. They want their employers to pay. So we don't know. So the whole point is you have to go and prove your idea and prove the assumptions, the core assumptions of your business. Will somebody pay for online training in Dubai? That could be your core assumption. And every business will have a core assumption. And we can test that by advertising, by putting up a simple page. You can go to clickfunnels.com. You can go to Lead Pages, Unbounce. There's a million ways you can just put up a website. And you don't have to be a freaking genius to do it. You can go and hire someone to do it for you, or just do it yourself. Learn. Because this is so important, right? And then you go and advertise on Facebook. So again, you have to learn how to do that. You've got to put adverts out. Is it easy to do this? No, it's not easy. The skills you need are quite complicated in terms of understanding psychology and advertising. But hey, there are people who are going to help you. But you can go and put adverts out. We can target our right audience, give them our proposition, and then see if they're willing to take action.
Yeah.
for under $1,000. So we can actually go and prove the concept. Okay, over a course of maybe 2 months, I could spend $1,000 on advertising on Facebook, sending people to a page, making them click the buy button, or see they click the buy button, or the contact us button, or find out more button. But at least that's going to give me some indication. You know what? The market works. Because if I ask my friends, they'll all say it's an amazing idea.
Yeah.
And you have to find out what the market wants. So one of my rules in business is it's not what I think, it's not what you think, it's what the market tells us, right?
Yeah.
I'm not, I run experiments all the time online. The last experiment that I ran, I changed the color of the button on my registration page from red to green. Now, what kind of effect? Just change the color, nothing else. I didn't change anything else. What kind of effect did that change have on my registration rates? It doubled my registration. I can't believe it. Why is that? I don't know. But it doubled my registration rate. So you've got to understand how to do this kind of stuff online. I just doubled my business by changing the color.
Because red is for stopping and green is for going. We actually do these tests in our campaigns. Red gives a brain signal to stop, and a green gives a go signals, like, take action. So greens always work in e-commerce sites and online payments and stuff like that. So,
You know what was interesting though? The people who clicked the green button were less likely to buy than the people who clicked the red button. So the red button actually made us more money than the green button, even though we had double the number of registrations from the green button. So you can't do this, right? You can't do this kind of testing in traditional marketplace.
Yeah.
But you can online, and you could throw up something. I'm not saying whatever you're going to throw up there is going to be perfect on round one, but we can do these micro tests, right? We can put up a page, send 100 people to that page, right? It's going to cost you maybe $50 to send 100 people to the page. How many people click the link? Nobody clicks the link. Try a different version, experiment it, change the color of the button, change the headline, change the video, right? Maybe some people on this call have seen me on Facebook because I'm advertising on Facebook right now. I had 2 videos. One was 1.5 minutes. One was 1 minute. One was with this color shirt. One was with another color shirt, right?
Yeah.
I said different kinds of things. Guess what? Yeah. For one target audience, the longer video works brilliantly.
Yeah.
For another audience on Facebook, the short video works brilliantly. But I'm optimizing, right? I'm optimizing.
Yeah. It's testing all the time, testing online. But it's beautiful. It's amazing. It's fun. That's why I love digital marketing, because it's all these numbers and analytics and seeing what's working, how to change a little thing, and bam, something basically leads start pouring in. That's the you know, push.
And this goes back to our point that entrepreneurs should know about this, right? You should be aware of this, even if you don't know how to do it. But you should be aware. You can test everything. You got to test everything. I have in my sales funnel right now. I have every step is being tested, right? Everything. Because if you have a business today in Dubai and you want to double your revenue or double your profits, there are 7 indicators that you can work on, right? How many leads you're generating, how many of those convert, how much you convert for, how long they stay as a customer, how many referrals they bring in. And there's one more, I can't forget what it is off the top of my head. But if you look at that, if you build your funnel in business and, we start with lead and we end with dollars received, there's a number of stages in between. Now, if you can just tweak, if you have 7 stages and you can improve each stage by just 10%, then you've doubled your business. Yeah. So improving something by 10% is pretty easy, right? Could you increase your prices by 10%? Yeah, you could. In fact, in some cases that actually increases conversion rate because something that's more expensive is more valuable. Could you get 10% more leads? Yeah, of course you can. So it's really easy once you understand business as a science, right? I don't believe marketing is an art. I don't believe business is an art. I believe it's scientific. But at the same time, you have to do something you're passionate about, right? Yeah. I've never been able to do businesses that I'm not passionate about. If I'm not passionate about it, I'm not in business, right? But if I'm passionate about it, just do the marketing correctly, build a funnel, a sales funnel, push people through the funnel, and guess what? Out comes money, but you can prove your idea for very little money, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is. You don't need to go and raise a freaking $1 million investment to go and start a business. Do it yourself, learn. There are so many places. I mean, you've got an academy, there's Udemy, there's YouTube videos. I mean, one of the problems online is there's probably too much information now.
That's another thing. So as long as you're passionate about your idea, you believe in the product that you want to launch, testing is very important. But again, you have to keep testing and trying. If you keep believing it, you will not give up on it and do different things to make it work, to find the audience for it, to find the customers, and it has to. And like you rightly said, there's so much information out there. And so how do you filter the right information?
You find a mentor, you pay him tons of money, you tell him, hey, what do I do? And you listen to his advice. And I think that my mentor in the UK, the guy that took me from like zero to multi-millions, you know, he used to say, Sunil, you're my best client. And I would say, why am I your best client? He would say, Sunil, you ask me the questions, you listen to the advice, and then you go and take action.
Yeah.
I would just go and do what he told me. And it was like, and I would make money. Like, what? And he taught me about NLP. He taught me about sales and marketing, sales funnels. He would sit with me as the guy wanted £4,000 a month as a retainer and a percentage of my profits as well. I'm like, anybody who wants a percentage of my profits, you're in. You're invested with me. I love it. You know, and it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So I learned so much from him. And I realized business is a science. You want to make money? It's scientific. There's nothing complicated about it. What's complicated is thinking that it's an art form and that you're going to just go and change the world with your invention. Sure, maybe you will. Great. But go and prove the concept first, right? I was it Gary Vee who turned down investing in Uber? I don't know. Some stupid freaking guy turned down investing in Uber. You know, I can't complain. No one asked me if I want to invest in Uber. I'm not even too sure if I would have done as well. You know, it's like how much presence of mind you need to have to go and invest in ideas like that.
Yeah.
But when I say it's so simple, it is simple. You know, find the right crowd, find entrepreneurs, find a mentor, find someone who can go and do it for you. And you're going to go and kill it.
So how did that lead to heart attack now? Let's go to the heart attack story.
Heart attack?
How did you get a heart attack? How did that happen?
Heart attack happened because I smoked. I didn't exercise. I ate the wrong food. And when that happens over a long period, you end up having a heart attack. So that happened in March. I got back to Colombia. The next day that I got back, I was traveling all the way from Dubai. So I'm really thankful that it didn't happen en route or on a plane somewhere. I got back to got back to Colombia. The next day I woke up, had lunch, sat on my bed, just about to have a snooze. And the next thing I knew, I woke up, I was on the floor.
Oh my God.
I didn't know I had a heart attack. I'm very lucky that my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are both doctors. They came, they took me to the hospital, and that's when the doctor said, oh, you just had a heart attack. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
I think a healthy lifestyle is very important. Was it stress of all these different businesses and all these so many things you're doing? It's just food and lifestyle.
Food and lifestyle. I'm very fortunate. I don't consider myself to be stressed at all. I think we haven't talked about cash flow. I mean, geez, how can I talk about cash flow? But cash flow is critical, right? If you have money coming every month to you, regardless of what's happening, then you're free, right? I don't have to work. I do what I want. I have an office here in Colombia. You're the only person who makes me come to my office. And when I do presentations, I come to my office. But otherwise, I work from home, you know, and it's cash flow that makes you king. So I'm an expert at building systems and then finding people to run those systems for me. So when I started Sumansa, I built the systems. I ran it for 3 years. And then I stepped down as CEO and I was a silent investor. And that's what I love doing. I love building systems and procedures and helping people do that because for me, it is so simple. It is simple. And people seem to be frustrated when I say that because they're struggling. And they're struggling because they haven't realized that how much of a science or a process business is. It's not difficult. What is difficult is staying focused enough to do it. And that's one thing I struggle with is staying focused and not getting caught up with the next shiny object and the next idea and the next because when you realize you can prove an idea for under $1,000, then every idea you have, the first thing I go and do is buy the domain name. You go and buy the domain name, then you want to go and test it. So I've had to really learn how to be focused. That's been one of my biggest challenge. And everyone has their, I guess, Achilles heel, so to speak, in terms of in business. And you need the right people around you. Having the right people around you is so important.
Yeah. So what's only one thing you need to be successful? The one thing, according to Sunil Jaiswal.
Speak to Namita Ramani.
Really?
No.
Really? Well, I can help somewhere. But yeah, there has to be something.
No, absolutely. The one thing we talked about already, is just find a mentor. Find someone who's done it before you. I was speaking to my personal trainer here in Colombia. I mean, Colombia is like a great place. It gives me some great perspective. The average salary here is about $200, $300 a month. So people live on that. And they work really hard for that, right? So I like blackjack. I go to the casinos and I see the croupiers there, the dealers there. They're working, I think, 28 days a month, right? Get like maybe 1-2 days off a month. That's it. They're working 8-9 hours a day on their feet, and they make about $300 a month.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you be successful? My personal trainer wants to start a gym, and he's got all these ideas. I'm like, just freaking find somebody who's a mentor. Whatever money you've got, pay him. Just pay the guy, right? Listen to his advice. Now, what happens if the mentor is wrong? Okay, so what? Next mentor, find somebody else, right? I mean, are there con artists out there? Sure, there are. There's tons. And I can tell you that if you're looking for investment, you're going to find somebody, because there's stupid money left, right, and center.
Yeah.
There are people who are stupid with their money.
Yeah.
So that's hope, right? If you're looking for investors, you're going to find one, because there's enough stupid people in the world with money who are going to invest in your idea. So, but that's it. It's like, just find someone who's done what you've done, ask them to help you, get them a share of your business, do what it takes to get them on board. And then guess what? Follow what they say. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself.
Take the help of people you know. And last question. So what property investing taught you about being an entrepreneur?
Everything is doable. All right. I specialize in buying real estate with no money, or I specialize in doing creative deals in real estate investing. And I didn't realize I was being entrepreneurial as a real estate investor until much after the fact. But I started in 1999 investing in property with no money and doing creative deals. And I think that you realize that nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed in the real estate market. Not the price, not the banks, not the loan to value, not the interest rate, not the seller, not the market, not the agent, not the lawyers. Nothing is fixed. Everything is doable. Everything is flexible. And when you apply that to business, everything is achievable. Absolutely, you can just do whatever, you can achieve whatever you want in business. So what did it teach me about being an entrepreneur? Like, put your hand out and shake people's hands. When I started investing, I think I spoke to 300 different people. Right? I had zero investment property. I would go and meet people and say, "Hi, I'm Sunil. Let me get my pen, shake my hand. I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking to expand my portfolio." And I never told them it was expanding from zero, but it was expanding from zero.
Yeah.
Like, you have a deal for me. And one fine day, one guy called me up and said, "Sunil, I got a deal for you." Okay. What's the deal? It's £300,000. Okay. And I was able to structure a deal. I went and saw the property and went home and did my numbers. And I structured a deal where I was putting no money to buy this property. And then I went to the agent. I gave him my offer. And he said, "I'm going to put it to the developer." The developer came back 2 days later. And I was going, The developer said, "Yeah, we'll do the deal on one condition. That rather than buying one property, you buy 3 properties."
Okay.
So I was like,
the money.
if I don't need any money to buy this, I can buy 3. And it was just, the deal never happened because I was too naive still. I didn't realize how to make it work, but it was learning.
Yeah.
You just you go meet people, you talk to people, you get inspired. But there is there's a time for getting inspiration, and then there's a time for action. And I think that ideas are way overrated. Go and build something, go and make something happen, right? If you want advice and help, come to me where you've already got something that's not working, we can fix it. Don't come to me with an idea. It freaking bores the hell out of me. Everyone's got a good idea, right? Namita, you and I, we could sit down here within half an hour. We could have 10 ideas that are freaking awesome.
Yes.
Right? Question is, can we go and implement those and make them happen?
Yeah.
And if we can, then we can. I want to show everybody here. I've got some sunlight now.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that view. Awesome. That's pretty green, huh? You have lots of trees, unlike us here. Awesome.
That side is the sea, and I've got beautiful greenery. It's like absolutely beautiful. So yeah.
Wow, so we have lots of good key takeaways today. Get a mentor, eat healthy, stop smoking. Try, you test your idea with $1,000 before really going all out. What else, Sunil? Am I missing out on
people? Find your tribe.
Go handshake with people. Go out there, meet people, find your tribe, look into investments in real estate and generate passive income is one of the other key takeaways. Wow. So Sunil, where can people find you and, how can you help them?
Well, you have to get on a flight from Dubai. You go all the way to Fort Lauderdale in Florida. It's about a 16-hour flight. Then you drive from Fort Lauderdale to Miami. It's about 35, 40-minute drive, depending on the traffic. Jump on a flight from Miami, come down to Barranquilla in Colombia, then put a message on my Facebook page, I'm in Colombia, and I'll come and meet you.
If you cannot do that, then?
If you can't do that, then you can go to my website, which is suniljaiswal.com, or you can go to my property website, systematicproperty.com, where you can get on one of my free trainings. I do free trainings twice. Actually, it's going to be more often than that, but pretty much most days of the week, there's free trainings going on where you can learn about thinking differently about real estate. So if you're up for that, you can go and do that. That's at systematicproperty.com, or just go to my website or follow me on my page, or I don't know, say hi to me at the Cashflow Club. I should be in Dubai later on this year, where I'll be doing some events at the Cashflow Club again, and be happy to meet anybody at the Cashflow Club.
Awesome. So to catch Sunil in Dubai, you have to join the Dubai Cashflow Club on meetup.com. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. I don't see any comments or questions. Having said that, if you have questions, please post them. Sunil will be there to answer them. Yes, Sunil, you'll be happy to answer, right?
It's $30 an answer.
Oh, he's always looking for money from everywhere, huh?
I'm not looking for money. $30. If you want mentoring, I charge $1,000 an hour. There you go. But I'll answer a few questions for free, for sure.
Sure. So Sunil will be there to answer your questions. If you like this, if you enjoyed this conversation, please like or love this conversation. If you feel this conversation can help someone, share it on their wall, share it with your friends, and let more people know about what all different things we spoke about. I'm sure you know many entrepreneurs who are trying to be out there, test their idea, and they will have some key takeaways from all the conversations we had today. If you want to see previous episodes of all the different other speakers that I've had on board and amazing conversations with them, you can find them on abovedigital.com/academy. Thank you so much, Sunil, for your time, for waking up at 4:30, being available at that early hour and talking to me and talking to my audience. And it was really fantastic. It was. I
really enjoyed it. I love sharing. And I'm going to go back to bed now. So thanks very much.
Thank you all for watching. And until next time, see you then. Have a lovely week ahead. Bye.